happen to see him, you'll think he's an enamored knight in shining armor, horse chestnut and shiny bright, conquer carapace, emerging from the dark, emerging from the dark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Could you really begin to think he is a crawling stalker? Oh, his eyes on you, echoey, creepy legs itching to reach and force a breach and go for you and go for you. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Beware when you corner him, there's a sting in his tail, and if nobody's watching, his claws might well rip you bare. Beware when you corner him, there's a sting in his tail, and if nobody's watching, his claws might well rip you bare. Angels fresh, fresh, nice and juicy, roots still green and youth and beauty. He'd say there's no accounting for taste, but I say he's a false prophet. I say he's a false prophet. Angels fresh, fresh, nice and juicy, roots still green and youth and beauty. Angels fresh, fresh, nice and juicy, roots still green and youth and beauty. Angels fresh, fresh, nice and juicy, roots still green and youth and beauty. Into the broad daylight, quick pace like a spark. Coulée de silence, vague de non-dits, frémissement d'un serment dit à demi-mot. Dernière effervescence pénétrant l'essence des choses, l'essence. S'évanouir, volatile et volage, volatile et volage, volatile et volage. Volatile et volage, volatile et volage, volatile et volage. Dans l'ombre ancrée du soir, page noircie de faux espoirs. Mots qui sombrent et se noient, s'échappent à pied dans le sillage. D'étoiles éteintes, d'étoiles éteintes, d'étoiles éteintes. D'étoiles éteintes, d'étoiles éteintes, d'étoiles éteintes. Hanté de mensonges et hanté de mensonges, mensonges et hanté. Hanté de mensonges et hanté de mensonges, mensonges et hanté. Volatile et volage, volatile et volage, volatile et volage. Volatile et volage, volatile et volage, volatile et volage. Plonge dans un songe, s'enfonce, poussé Au fond des eaux du lac, un os aussi, un os, il y a qu'aussi. Posé sur la roche, il brille. Danser ondule au rythme du souffle des vagues, gracieux dans les reflets du ciel. Flotte sur l'écume en dentelle, au fond des eaux du lac.
Hello.
Une molaire erre en solitaire au beau milieu.
Hello, everybody. As my mic was a little bit bugged there, don't worry. We are coming live. It is a Pacific point of view. My name is Carix. With me is Mabinogi. This is your one-stop shop for LCP info ahead of another big weekend of games. How has your week been, Marby?
My week has been pretty good. It's been a nice Easter break from the real world, and I got to talk about League of Legends again. And
Exactly
I
what
have
we
been
want.
thinking way too much about this game again. Oh gosh, is this what it was like?
We never get out of the mines. As soon as we think we're free, something drags us right back down, and it wouldn't be any other place. The LCP had a really interesting week. Any just sort of first big impression?
I think big impressions would be that the sort of power dynamics within the league seem to have shifted a little bit from game one.
I think a lot.
Week one over. I mean, week one we can week one overreactions trying to temper this, but I think CFO is the big one that seems to have dropped off. MVK's new roster shift seems to have done quite well for them, and yeah, I think we're gonna still see. I think overall we're gonna see a lot of the sort of what we were getting at the tail end of the playoffs last year. I think that's going to continue to sort of ring true through the split and move us away from the sort of split one standard.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was something I sort of brought it up on cast, the SHG CFO game before we actually watched what happened. Were the Hawks going to maintain playoffs form, or were they going to slip back into more of a regular season thing? And it definitely does just seem like playoff form is going to continue. I do think there's one massive exception to that, which is we love DCG, who look. I don't think. I mean, that was maybe their finals performance continuing.
Yes,
but it wasn't the rest of the players.
Yeah, that's the one that sort of stands out as the I'm not 100% sure where to place them yet because it's one series, but there are big issues coming out of DCG that you have to look at and go, this way you're going to want to try and focus. Is this just first game back sort of fumbles? But can this, or is this signs of a continuing trend? Because yeah, there was, well, we'll get into it, but there were signs of good and bad coming out of DCG in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the way we're just going to do it is we're just going to start off just on last week. It was, of course, week one. We don't want to overreact too much, but we'll go sort of series by series, and you can just tell me how much you really want to dwell on each. We started off with DFM versus Ground Zero, and of course, did go 2-0 to the boys in green, which I think was exactly what we expected.
The result is expected. I don't think I expected it to be quite like this. I expected it to be one-sided, but I did not expect my takeaway from it to just be Ijang. Right?
He's really good.
He's really good. Momo looked like he didn't belong in the game. He looked like he wasn't ready for tier 1. He got absolutely manhandled in the matchups. Like, he had no lane pressure on Rumble, which has been the most broken champion in the game for like several years at this
I
point.
feel like not having lane pressure on Rumble, it's like, I feel like you could put me in a tier 1 game and I would still have pushed 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm terrible, but it's just Rumble. You kind of just walk at them with Flame Spitter on. It's not hard.
Yeah, and Casante's been nerfed enough that the early part of the game is not terribly strong for that champion. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. The player diff on show was some like season 2 classic League of Legends shit. That was like
completely destroyed.
Flame beating up on some no-name Korean I've forgotten. Like, that was insane. But like, if I'm gonna try and be like some positives on there, like, there were good rotations coming out of Citrus early. He was able to find a decent amount of pressure on the bot side of the map, but once the wheels started coming off the game, Citrus, he started floundering. Once his early game was disrupted at all, yeah, he just sort of was floundering. There were overaggressions, overreaches, and it falls apart. And game 2, there's nothing to talk about. They just completely into the 3v3 skirmish around Dragon early. And Ijung just turbo stomped Desnar into Scion. Because Nara is a champion that scales inversely with how good your opponent is.
Yep.
And Momo is not good. So Nara was OP, fundamentally.
Yeah, look, I completely agree. I do think it was pretty... Game 2, yeah, there's just nothing to talk about. It was just a much better team beating up team. I don't know what DFM has to do outside of, like, not keep the same players, but that's not do necessarily. It's rough. Like, Momo, he's just not ready for tier 1 play. It's really harsh to say that, of course, and like, hey, maybe he has a huge glow up and makes... I'd love that for him, but getting even last split, he was getting the man by like Kiaya playing the worst that he's ever played. Still was
yeah, like, and we understand that it's not the easiest situation for a Japanese team to just replace a player. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's
if I grab I can't look across too easily at the like, if I can look at the like LJL, what's being played, and then I see a list of names and go, okay, I don't actually know who any of these players are, which is okay. Yeah, that's me not doing research on the tier 2 league. But in DFM's case, it's extra rough because their academy top laner is Korean. You can't come in. You can't add another one.
It's super rough. Like,
so there's no hot swap there.
This is sort of the one downside of the LCP. Like, obviously, I think bringing all the regions together had a lot of that is the one downside. Like, the LJL, like, you only get to have 2 Korean players or 2 non LJL players. It's not like the option, obviously. And the Japanese pool is just I think Japan has always punched above its weight for the size of its server, the size of its play. It is just a case. It's just maths. Harder to produce top level talent. And yeah, as you said, they'd love to maybe give their academy top laner a run, but they can't because their 2 Koreans are actually doing for them. It's a bit unfortunate. Looking over at Ground Zero, yeah, I agree. That was just Ejung. It's the Ejung show. There's not much else to talk about, man. The rest of the team was fine, but like, what are we talking about? It was Ejung.
Yeah, it was very hard to take away too much from the rest of the team. I think she probably could have pushed back a little bit more on some of the jungle in game 1, but that's just that's almost nitpicking at this point. It is a good point raised that Ray Faki is on the roster, but for DFM, but is he going to play here? Didn't play in Split 1. I don't know if he's still
Much time he actually getting in.
looking to play. Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem sometimes with these sort of tier teams is
Yeah.
they have a sub, but like, is it like
Yeah.
Arya has been in a car crash? We must put
So-
someone in.
So, like, Ray is a name that's been around for a while in LJL, and I don't. And we like. So I'll have a pretty good idea of his level, and I don't think it's that much better than Momo. Might be a bit better. It might be. I think it's less likely to go quite as disastrously, but I don't think he's gonna. So he might be a like plug in the hole that is top lane, but it's not gonna be a solution. It's not gonna make the team. It makes the team less worse rather than better. Does that make sense?
Apologies if my mic was being a bit weird there. It should be a little bit more fixed now. Do let me know. Been fiddling with settings all. Sort of moving on from that first series, I think we've sort of covered everything that matters from that one. DFM obviously needs to bounce back. GZ, we need to see them play against better opponents. We'll get to later in this episode, don't you worry. Look, we predicted this next one. I think it was really obvious. It was DCG versus MVK. And obviously, you know, DCG second in the last split. They came in and just, what? 2-1 MVK out of nowhere.
This vexes me because I want to say DCG, Deep Cross Gaming, are the better team, but
I think they
have
underestimated
worse
MVK.
mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, like that's not unreasonable.
I think all the early games showed a much clearer plan, a much better setup. Even when they were falling behind, they were like first to objectives, but they lost. But in games 2 and 3, at least, they lost every team fight, and they just got hands checked over and over and over and over. Especially Feng. My God, Feng did not deliver anything in
Yeah, it's pretty
games 2 and
embarrassing.
3. He, like, oh my God. I have not seen a Varus do that badly in a long.
He made Varus look balanced.
He made Varus look bad.
Needed buff. Like, yeah, it was pretty bad. I think Turbo's saying it in chat, and I completely agree. It's VCS, right? Like VCS is always the mechanical region.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes falls apart on the macro side. We've been getting better at that. Team Secret Wales actually got. But yeah, I just think it was just a bit of a hands diff, which is not something we ever really expect.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, sorry, I should say we don't expect it to win the game, you know, like or win a series. When we play best of threes, you think the better macro team ends up out on top.
Yeah, and I think like just a lot of small decisions just kind of crash together. Like the Varus, what was it? It was Varus Seraph. Hold on, let me bring on my match list again. Because it was Varus Bard. Varus Bard should not be 2v2 killed at level 2 by
never.
Ezreal Leona. The only reason
ever.
looks even remotely salvageable was because they did not track Pop 9 at all, and Pop 9 just happened to be clearing down towards bot lane at level 3. The wave was in a position that they needed to stay and try and crash it, otherwise it would be frozen on them, because home guards and season... What season are we up to? Season 16 are insane. Which is another reason I need to bully Feng again. Why are we taking teleport on Varus? Hello, pussycat.
Yeah.
Why are we taking teleport on Varus? Lethality Varus has been nerfed repeatedly, but you need that combat summoner, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think you do need the combat summoner, particularly against a sort of new, scrappier team. I see in chat, like, there's a team of a case of a team coming up to the LCP and being underestimated. I definitely think that's true. I do think DCG disrespected them a little bit, maybe didn't prep super well. It's week 1 as well, like, rusty. DCG didn't go to first stand, so they didn't exactly keep the skills honed in the same way that, like, Team Secret Wales did. But at the same time, like, you should still be the best. This is not a case of, like, a 5th place team losing to the promoted academy squad. It's the 2nd place. Should be winning, just based on being a better team.
Yeah, but the amount of just times that they took fights that were just managed checks, and I'm gonna have to get rid of this cat.
I'm sure chat
So-
loves cat cam.
Yeah, the amount of times they took hand checks that just they didn't need to take and lost. Like, as you said, VCS is a mechanical region. This is a young roster, so we don't expect the macro to be there, and the macro wasn't there. They just they were generally late to team fights, but they retook the sites well. They retook the Dragon pits well and took the fights. They took the objectives, and yeah, I think players like Fang and Florin, I will get on Florin's case a little bit for game 2. They need to step up. They need to completely turn it. They need to turn it around by this week, or they're gonna start down 0-2 because this is a tough week.
Yeah,
this was meant to be a gimmick.
Exactly. Like, they were sort of meant to get a gimme in week 1, and then come in, and week 2 is the finals rematch. It's actually really hard. I can't. I mean, look, we don't want to overact too much to week 1. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but DCG definitely need to bounce back. They're not quite on Fraudwatch yet. That slot is our ultimate. Speaking of which, do you have anything more to say on DCG versus MVK, or do you want to move on to possibly the stupidest series I've watched?
I want to say shout out to Sulang for busting out the Annie support, which is something I've been slowly watching the Annie come out again in mid lanes over and over, and I'm just like, someone's gonna have to flex it at some point. Someone's gonna flex it at some point, and it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it'll be good, and it was good. I don't 100% agree with the E start. I think you lost a lot of lane pressure with that, but that's nitpicking, really.
Yeah, that is. I think it's probably if that changes as we go. But let's move on to a pretty crazy series. SoftBank Hawks and CFO. We both predicted CFO to win this.
I don't. Did I? I don't remember.
You did.
I don't remember.
We both did.
This was meant to be close at the very least. So, but oh my!
It was not close. Game 1 is an almost perfect game. If Vista doesn't dive the fountain at the end.
I think that was a draw as well.
I think there was. Yeah, it wasn't quite a perfect game even before that, but it was close. And then game 2 was an actual perfect game in the big 2026. Just for context, I used to get perfect games like maybe once every like 6 or so months. Then they added like grubs, they added tower plating to make towers. So you could sort of, if you overloaded one side of the map, another tower would like. There are so many mechanics that make perfect games almost impossible. And yet, CFO found a way.
And yet, this team's dead. This team is dead. Like, this team looks so unbelievably lost. They do not look like they want to play the game. They do not look like they want to be on the server.
Yep, they just got smacked. They were complete headless chickens. I was casting the game, and it was hard to even verbalize what CFO was doing.
They seemed to try for like the first 5 minutes of game 1, and they did not try for the rest of the series. Like, game 1 was Abby is playing well. 2274 was not playing very well at all. But like, I have written here the game's lost their first dragon because they just, I think from memory, they just piled into this fight for one at a time and just sort of fed kills. Into a dragon that was already lost. I think Shadow tried desperately to overforce the dragon, and then I think no, he got the smite, but the fight was just lost. Like I think it was like 4 dead, 4 for 0.
In game
but
2
and
was just Van walked bot lane at level 3 and just got kills for nothing.
yeah, like Lee Sin only works with a level 3 gang. You have to be ready for that to happen. There was no preparation, no wars. They just let him. They just overpushed bot. He walked bot, got 2 kills. Walked mid, I think, got 2 more. He was 4-0 at 5 minutes, and then Pungyong ints another kill into Arya, and then Arya just runs the whole game from there.
Yeah, they lost 2 kills that you could say it was a little bit unlucky that Van was on the bot side of the map. On the bot side of the map, but he could have been clearing top to bot. Right? You don't know that he's starting on.
Why would he? Okay,
let me finish. Let me finish. Like, you should be scouting these things. I'm trying to give them the smallest possible out of, like, it's not the bot lane's fault, because maybe the mid lane and the jungle be scouting that at level 1, but they don't. So they have no idea. The biggest problem was that they lose those 2 kills. They give that to a Lee Sin, who then gets to reset, walk back out to the bot side river, and you just go, yeah, let's 3v3.
Yeah, like,
he has 2 kills. What are you doing?
There's no. I truly don't believe you can push that aggressively against a Lee Sin. Because he has to sort of look for an early game. This is how Lee Sin lives in these days. So you've got this pushing bot lane. You push. You don't ward. You should know he's starting red buff because that gives him the most combat power at level 3. So if it was side swapped, he might be starting red, and then your top laner has to not gank. But no, this was just shocking. And
terrible.
then they completely gave up. And from there, they just gave up. Rest and Doggo looked so much worse than they are as players.
Yeah, they were just checked out.
Fundamentally, the vibes are fucked.
Yep, completely fucked vibes.
If they can turn this around, just hand the Coach of the Year award to Charlie already.
Yeah, it's like, seriously, if he can fix this, it is 100% like he would be the greatest coach of all time. Like, I'm looking at the stats for that series, and they are comical. Rest in this, like, 2 games together. Rest 0-5-0, Shadow 0-7-0, Punyon 0-10-0, Doggo 1-3-0, 2-2-7-0-9, and that one was Vista Fountain Dive.
That one we can give to the Fountain. 100%.
Yeah, Vista Fountain Dive, just for fun, which he shouldn't have done. I called him out on cast. Don't do that. That was fun. Would have been way funnier if he just didn't die. But
shoutouts are good. Go for shoutouts. I mean,
I agree.
Unless that Fountain Dive was the elaborate ploy to break their mental for game 2. I don't know. But man,
yeah, I don't know. I think we need to look at the other side of the matchup. How much can you read into the SoftBank Hall? I definitely think, look, they looked great, but, like, I'd look great running, the 100 meters against 6-year-old. That doesn't mean I'm fast.
So, I mean, I think they still look like the solid team that was at the end of the playoffs, which ended up coming 3rd, but it took DCG to 5 games. I believe it took Team Secret Wales to 4 games. So not quite.
And Pun played out of his.
Yeah, and Pun decided all of a sudden he's the best top laner in the region.
Which he just is, by the way. He is just the best top laner in the region by, like, a lot.
He just is, which I did not expect coming in.
If you went back in time,
I've always rated Pun.
If you went back in time and popped in on a VCS English podcast and said, like, one day Pun will top lane over Kira, you would never ever.
Ooh. Okay. Unless it is winter
True,
2021.
true. If it was
In
winter
which case-
2021, yeah.
In which case, I was Pun's strongest defender, saying he was better than Kiaya in that split.
So
Granted,
right.
it was a tank meta, and Pun is just the only tank player in Vietnam. But
Yeah, somehow still, by the way, like guy
Still.
still doesn't play him.
yeah, that's
Doesn't
really
play him
shocking. But so I think I think it makes the matchup a lot more interesting. I think they're definitely on track to actually contend. They're definitely a contender. We're gonna have to find out eventually. I'm not sure when they match up exactly, but oh, there you go. It's not this week, but week after. So we will find out soon.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm very much looking forward to that. We'll get to upcoming fixtures. Keep your powder wet. I'm very excited for that one. No question. Do you have anything more to say? I still just think I don't want to read too much into the SoftBank Hawks. They look incredible, but they did just beat up kindergartners, FO, which is crazy to say. Like I think that series, you don't get perfect gamed just because the opposition. You also have to be talented.
Yeah, Arya. I think the thing you have to. I think the one thing to check is Arya is on the uptick, which is like he was already good, but like last year when he was on DFM, he was the bright spot on a disaster of a team. This year, once the playoffs hit in Split 1,
He just looked great.
Arya's back. This performance over CFO Pongyong looked as bad as Momo did in the Ground Zero series. So like,
saying something,
which is
because Momo looked shit.
Which is saying a lot, and like Arya looked fantastic.
Yeah, I think there was one team fight where he threw 4 charms on Ari, and every single one of them hit and mattered. Like there were no junk ones. Like it wasn't even just hitting someone that was already dead. He was only hitting important targets with 100%. Maybe don't give him that champion. I'm gonna be honest. Like, how like. Didn't Nymera like kind of make his fame aside from being a really good caster and good bloke, and that obviously doesn't make his fame by just casting a bunch of Ari as the Ari guy?
Very much, pretty much saying, yeah, buy the book. I think he's definitely a contender for best in the region.
Yeah, he's 100% a contender. Like,
yeah,
if you say he's not a contender, you're just smoking
wrong.
Like, I think at this point, D-Ray...
I think he's firmly top 2.
He's firmly top. Like, D-Ray's the only one that comes close, right? Like, it's him or D-Ray.
I think so. There are moments where I think we're gonna get the RS status promised, but no, we're not getting that.
It's a shame.
But it's a shame.
I do think, like, in terms of other, like, in terms of Arya as best mid, I still just think they just need. That's the big. I think I have to put D-Ray ahead of him.
Yeah, I think
he has to beat him, right? You got to beat the champ to be the champ.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to sort of, if you want to go for the Arya's better angle, you have to come. I think you come down on the side of Arya is the better mid laner, but the mid jungle duo of Histo D-Ray is better than that.
Yeah, I think I can go with that.
Arya together. Yeah, I think that's probably where I might be coming down on role.
But again, I think
trust of Vietnamese mid laners.
Yeah, look, we've been hurt before. We've been hurt before. We still have scars from just years of Vietnamese mid laners not performing when it matters. DR1, I remember every single one. Artifact, I remember every single sombrero. There were some sombreros recently. Not this split so far, but last split I can think of some, and I hate them every time. But anyway, let's sort of table the Hawks for now. We'll certainly talk about them more when we're talking about this week's matchups because we do have a really interesting one. And we'll round out the matches from last week, which of course is actually probably the least interesting. Which it was Garm versus Team Secret Wales. This was the VCS derby. We always try and big the VCS derbies up, but I just don't think they're that interesting anymore. Team Secret Wales is just so.
Yeah, we sit in an interesting. We're in a spot where it's like they are very exciting games to watch because there are always a lot of bloodbaths. So from
They're
a
not
casual
close.
perspective, yeah, they're quite fun. But no, I think it's very clear that the macro difference is just still obscenely in the favor of Team Secret Wales. Garm just like they played out their learning phases fairly well, but I think RS could not get any control over the mid lane, and once BA was unlocked from the bot lane on Bard, in game one, it just sort of kind of fell apart. It kind of sort of falls apart. I think Drakthar was having a really good. I think Drakthar had a really strong early game, but he had his plan, and when it went wrong, he didn't have flexibility.
I still just don't think. I just don't think Drakthar is it.
Yeah, I feel like he reminds me a lot of how BJ kind of used to be, in like have a very strong early game, but if something goes wrong, then BJ would struggle. And yeah, he would just, and this really came ahead in game one at the tower dive.
Yeah, where it went completely wrong, and he just kept going for no reason.
You drop the Herald over the wall, you get Bard ulted. Okay, that's fine. You expect that. Back off. Nope. Full dive. And Artemis and RX are like, we can't follow that up. We have to hit this tower. There's no minions. So the tower has resistances. They can't kill the tower, and the tower kills them. Team Secret Wales just collapses and kills them. It's like, you have to know when to say no. You gotta know when to fold them.
Yeah, 100%. They just need to back off.
And I think the big shock, the big shame for me, and now this might not actually be the case, but as far as we could tell from broadcast, Noel didn't step in at all. Noel didn't step in at all in game one. Like, CL was in there, CL was chatting.
Something interesting.
Have something like that happen, and Noel just goes, no, I'm gonna let that happen.
Yeah. Something kind of interesting. That we'll actually have subtitles for Coach Com.
That will be nice.
Technically,
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yes, we should be able to actually understand them because obviously it's great to be able to hear Coach Comps, but I don't speak Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, and Korean, so it's a little bit hard. I don't speak any. But we should be able to hear a little bit because that's where, there just needed to be. I think the problem that Garm has is that they were so used to having Levi, who just obviously a fantastic player, but he also filled the role of. And now they don't have that. Drakthar can't fill that kind of player. And he's just done. And they're just done. I think Garm has looked really, really disappointing. I think we might live in a world where they're the third.
I don't want to say that just yet.
I can't say it. I think we might.
We might.
We're not quite there.
Like, obviously right now we're living in Vikings have won right now. Vikings have won a game, Garm have not. But Vikings, I think, are still far too young.
Yeah, look, I agree. I do
match. Agree. Like, what macro Garm possesses is still greater than MVK's, and I think they should be able to match them pound for pound, mechanics-wise. Though, that said, Artemis is not having his...
yeah, I think Artemis is
not having a great showing right now.
Yeah, I mean, so we can sort of... I think that's a good launching off point to move to this week's games. I'm going to change the order a little bit because I want to keep talking about this Vietnamese because that's what we have on night, we have MVK versus Garm. And I think, yeah,
Yes.
that will be the grudge match, right? For second best Vietnamese team?
Yep. It's probably the most important one. Well, actually, I guess not.
Well, I think
Because I was thinking relegations, but that's not really the splits worry. But
Yeah.
and also GAM is locked.
exactly.
GAM is a partner team. So right now we have the we have this matchup between only Guri has, well, okay, Sirlong has a little bit, but it's mostly only Guri that has real experience right now, and he's found himself as the leader. Drakthar has found himself as the leader, not really the leader replacement directly. He's not expected to be the leader, but he is filling that role. He is the jungler replacing Levi. So that's going to be I think that's going to be the matchup to watch, in just to see sort of how they try and direct the teams through the early games. Drakthar's early game knowledge is pretty good.
Yeah, I think his early games have been fine.
Very inflexible when things go wrong.
It's kind of like old Saigon Buffalo, where they were just following a script for 15 minutes, and if the script went wrong, they went wrong. But if the script didn't go wrong, they won a lot of games. So
yeah, guess who was on that team?
Tachi.
Yeah. Also, technically, no.
Exactly.
So,
like this is something. This sort of some of these people, some of these players have been doing. It's not gonna win you, though. I think in this league, we have to be a little bit flexible because the other team is just going to do too much.
Yeah. And I'm seeing some Carti slander, and Carti was not good last year, but last split. But I do have to point out the big
Carti's my king.
Big weakness of MVK. Chica's still bad.
Yeah.
Like, Chica kind of got dog walked by Hongshu. So I'm not saying I don't think that was necessarily a upgrade. I think that was just a hard reset. This is what we've got left. So, but yeah, it's I think MVK have come out. They've looked very good, but being able to take down DCG, now eyes are on them. So, and we see a lot of this sort of, is now the pressure might be on. Now there's sort of eyes on you. GAM does not want to be the worst Vietnamese team. They have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah,
and Team Secret Wales, they've already lost their chance against them, so they have to lock in deep against you.
Yeah, look, we'll see. I think it's actually really hard to predict. Do you want to throw a prediction? What do we think?
I would throw GAM. I think experience will come out on top here. Though it's a little bit touch go. If MVK wins, it'll be in much the same way they beat DCG. It'll be through just an unreasonable amount of handshakes given to them by GAM, but I think GAM are good enough to match most of those handshakes anyway. So
I'm actually gonna ride the hype train. I'm predicting. Okay, I just have faith in this lineup. I think it'll be 2-1. Because I agree with you. This is just gonna be like they're just gonna fight constantly, and it's gonna be like because the thing is, Drakthar's gonna go for these plays, and if he gets hands checked like twice, the game is over. Like they lose.
We will get a stellar performance either way.
It'll be fun. Let's go back to the other game of today. It's actually going to be the first game of today. It is CFO DFM, possibly the match of the week. That is spelt with an A, of course. CFO coming off one of the worst performances of all time.
Yeah. And Definition Focus Me coming off also one of the worst performances of all time, but not quite as bad. So, I mean, it sort of comes in as a case of I can't see this. Like, I shouldn't be looking at this and thinking it could be anything other than a Flying Oyster win.
I don't know, man. I think the vibes are fucked. Really I think it's bad vibes.
Yeah.
I think. Imagine if DFM just like get first blood. Like they just randomly get a coin flip first blood? Do they just
Yeah,
collapse?
I feel like it maybe, but I feel like this should be one of the best matchups for Flying Oyster
Well,
in
yeah,
that
you'd hope
you
so. It's
could,
DFM.
well, yes, but in particular, this should be something where you can just give Rest a carry and say go,
Yeah.
and Rest just walks over Momo and wins the game for you. But I don't know. I think the rest of the map has been so rough, and Citrus is very much like the player who will pick those Lee Sins and those sort of early aggressive junglers. And if they continue to pay no heed to how those junglers are meant to be played, they will just see a repeat of game 2 of against SoftBank, where they just get rolled early and the snowball is unstoppable. So
Yeah, look, I do
I'm
agree.
going to vote for my boy Rest.
I do agree with Miro in chat is that Rest has to dog.
Yeah.
Surely Rest just dog walks Mo.
Yeah, I think that has to be the case. I've been a Rest fan since 2019. Will always I will always I will always go for my boy. I will go for my boy Rest in a prediction, but it shouldn't be this close.
It really
shouldn't
should
be this labored.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That it's actually close. There should be a really easy 2-0 DFM prediction. It's not. 2-0 CFO, I should say. Sorry. It's not. I'm going DFM. I think CFO. I think that team needs a full vibes reset, and I don't know if it's possible. Of course, we'll end the week with the VCS derby that we sort of talked about earlier. MVK versus. Oh no, that's today. Sorry, I'm done. We already talked about that. I'm sorry. I'm reading things wrong. Sunday will be Ground Zero versus SoftBank Hawks. I mean, SoftBank Hawks look good.
After the performance last week, I think you'd have to go for the Hawks. I think it'll be a good matchup. I think this will be one of the better matchups of the week. I would say this is the match of the week proper, as in the good version. But
it's that or DCG Team Secret.
It is is one of those two matches on Sunday, but I think this one is slightly more closer. I think we're gonna see what Ground Zero can do against SoftBank. We're gonna see what SoftBank can do against a team with a bit more resistance. And I think these two are just I'm very interested in the top lane matchup. I think Abby's been on a great run of form.
Yeah,
Jung looked fantastic. I'm very interested to see. I don't think it'll be quite as possible for Jung to carry it through top lane against Abby, because Abby is a fantastic play from behind / weak side top laner, and if given the resources can carry, but that's not really his role on the Hawks so far.
Yeah.
So I think this will be a very fun match. I think it'll be a very fun matchup to watch. If I'm looking for how, I think it'll be a very good solo lane matchup. I think the bot lanes are kind of both along for the ride.
They're just riding
this
along.
one. But that's gonna be where we want. I'm gonna be interested to see how they sort of play this out. I think Vista might be the decision maker. Might be the decision maker overall. That said, because I think he's slightly more suited to the current meta.
Yeah, do we want to sort of dive into that a little bit? Do we want to spend maybe, a little bit more time? If you're calling GZ SHG the match of the week, do we want to maybe think about some drafts, think about champions we might be seeing picked up and how that'll actually play out?
So I think across all regions this year we've seen a lot of this split rather. Enchanters are now king again, and one of my great complaints about supports over these past few years has been none of you fuckers can play enchanters.
Yep.
There have been like 4 or 5 supports that I can think of that have enchanter licenses. 2 of them are weird in that they only are allowed to play ranged supports. That would be Crisp and Carrier. Don't play melee supports, you two.
Yeah.
But so this has been the case of that, like, with this coming back in, I think a lot of the support dynamics are going to be completely thrown out of whack. Like last split, BA and Xiaoxi were far and away the best supports.
Yeah. BA in particular was unbelievable.
Xiaoxi is not a good enchanter player, like at all. Across his whole career, I've never been impressed with his sports. BA, I had to go through because I didn't remember his sports being that bad. But BA's like enchanter support play is cooked. It is
it's not
so
good.
weird. It is like it's not that it's bad. Like the win
He
rates
just
are
doesn't play them.
generally okay, but the ones he's played are wrong. His highest played enchanter is Morgana, and I'm specifically not counting Renata Glass here because that is not an enchanter in the traditional sense. It is a disengaged champion. Yeah, exactly. BS LeBlanc is crazy. If you know, you know.
So for reference,
like,
I'm just gonna like pull up his champion. It is ridiculous.
So like, I found this.
This is his whole career, by the way.
Yeah, his whole career, he has played 4 games of Lulu.
He has played
1 win.
He's played
That
more. He has played
this
more set
week.
than he has played any enchant.
Last week was his only win on Lulu. He has played 4 games. Before this split, he had 5 times as many Morgana games as Lulu games. This is incorrect. This is wrong. This is deeply gross. 2274 has as many Lulu games as him. 2274 has been playing for 2 years.
Yeah, like Seraphine, which is like sort of a ridiculously high prio pick at the moment. 5 games ever. Karma, he has a little bit more. He's got 11 on Karma. Yeah. But like he just doesn't play. Why does I'm just scrolling through here. Why does he have 2 Belveth games?
Oh yeah, he loved Belveth support.
Yeah. God, I love BA.
On Team Wales.
Yeah, Team Wales. He was just jamming it. Like, this is such a bizarre player,
he tried
and
to make that work. It didn't work ever.
No, it absolutely. But I mean, that does give a little bit of room for other players to maybe move in. This might just not be BA's meta.
Yeah, and like I think this is in particular Vista's meta. He has more. He has more games on Karma than the next 2 players combined, which I think is Bia and Xiaoxi, actually, oddly enough, because they're the 2 players with the longest careers next to him. He has like it's insane. Actually, I think it might just come slightly under, but like he has played so much more enchanters than anyone else, and he has okay win rates on him. The Karma one's a little bit scuffed because he was on some pretty bad LCK teams, but I think the meta shifting towards this really favors Vista over everyone else. It's a BA. He's got his first Lulu win. Maybe this is a renaissance for the boy.
Yeah, look, I mean, the thing about BA is that like it's not that he can't play enchanted. He just doesn't. I have faith that he can if he wants, but it's a matter of or is he just going to be kind of bored, try and find like a counterfactual to it? I don't know, and that's why this game is going to be so good, right? I'm really keen for it because I do look, if SoftBank Hawks and win really convincingly, that's crazy, right? If they just like smack Ground Zero around.
Yeah, I think if they smack Ground Zero around, then the top two match next week looks so exciting. between Sengoku and not Sengoku. I keep seeing S and thinking Sengoku because
No.
S Japanese. No, it's SoftBank Hawks. SoftBank. I think between SoftBank and Team Secret is going to be so exciting. I talked about BA a lot. Sualong is getting a shout out in chat, and 100%, I agree with that. Anivia getting mentioned. Yeah, I don't trust.
I don't trust any
Anivia's
LCP support. I don't trust support. At mid lane, I think Ejong actually looked alright on it.
I trust two people to play Anivia support. That is On, who invented the thing,
Pioneered it,
and Lehens, who is weird.
Who is Lehens?
Who is Lehens? The man who came up and got to Challenger playing Singed support. Yeah, he can play Anivia support.
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants. We do have one more game to talk about, and it is like it's interesting how if you had looked at the season before last week, how you'd be like, oh, this is going to be an incredible game. It's Team Secret Wales versus DCG, but DCG are on Fraudwatch.
DCG are on Fraudwatch. Fang and Florin in particular, I don't.
Yeah, they've got the Fraudwatch. The spotlight's on them.
And the matchup in particular is really rough for them, I think, in the sense that if Florin is not working, Pun's going to take full advantage of that. If your bot lane isn't coming together, BA is going to take full advantage of that. Eddie, I think Eddie's still in a little bit of a slump.
A little bit, yeah.
From that he's still carried over from first stand, but BA supports are the ones that actually dictate bot lanes. So BA is still playing hot. So I think it's just where you're slumping is, and it's hard to say that fairly because Team Secret Wales are kind of just strong across the board. But
yeah, I mean they're the
where
best.
You're slumping, Team Secret Wales are really good. So
yeah,
there's nothing.
I think Team Secret Wales. I think Team Secret Wales sort of. A lot of people really got a little bit reactionary about first. The fact that they didn't do super well at first stand doesn't actually really change the dynamic in the LCP. They're still the best team in the LCP, and I actually think there's quite a margin. Like, Relove DCG clearly worked. They got absolutely massacred in the finals. The Hawks are on a run. Maybe the Hawks can give them a real challenge. I mean, I don't want the one-team region. Like, as much as I love Team Secret Wales, I'm a Team Secret Wales fan. I don't want them to run. But like,
God knows how sick of PSG and GAM I was in the PCS and VCS. Just like, please stop winning. Let someone else win.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not fun. Like, I'd love the Hawks to give them a challenge. I'd also just love that for the LJL. God, that would be so huge for that region if they could really challenge for the top spot in the LCP. But Team Secret Wales is still the best team, far and away at the moment. I just have to heavily favor them. Also, I forgot to ask a prediction for the series before. GZ versus SoftBank Hawks. I'm going Hawks 2-0. Like, Hawks 2-0 in my opinion. I think 2-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna coward. I'm gonna be a coward and say 2-1. But yeah, I think SoftBank wins that one.
Fair enough. And then for this series, I have to I obviously want it to go to 5. I'm paid hourly. I'm joking. I wanted to go to 5. 5 would be hard. I meant 3. Sorry.
Good luck getting it to
5. I did mean 3. I always say 5. Obviously, so. I wanted to go to 3. I'm joking about the pay. I do mean it's more fun, but I don't think it will. I think this will be a 2-10. I think DCG are fraud.
I think it should be a 2-0 for Team Secret Wales. I think it might be. Yeah, I don't think DCG will be like. I feel like they will bounce back at some point as well. I think they will bounce back.
I think they're the third best team.
Yeah.
Like, at their actual peak. I think they're third.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're first. If you're not first or second, you don't get to beat Team Secret Wales. That's the unfortunate reality. Team Secret Wales are really good. We have any other comments on this one? We are just cresting the 1 hour mark, so we can start to wrap it up and get ready for the night of games. LCP will be starting in 2 hours. I'm casting, so make sure you're there. Any last words, Barbie?
Any last words on?
Or I kill you, apparently. Go ahead.
My final message changed the world. Last words on this matchup. I think it's gonna be. I hope that the DCG bounce back and give us a good one. But and I hope Hongshu is able to just keep the momentum up and drag it to the rest of his team. But
still can't believe we haven't played Hongshu.
Oh,
we need me.
It goes against what I know about Mandarin and seeing SUO. Is that really shit?
I don't know, man. I just think it's.
I don't know.
I just want him to play with someone named Mimi, so we can have the.
Well,
sleepy
Momo
boy.
is almost there.
Yeah, it's close.
And he plays like he's sleepy. So
anyway, let's wrap it up there. Unless you before we get a little bit too silly. There's been a Pacific point of view with Carix and Mabinogi. We'll see you at the LCP in about 2 hours, as said. It's going to be a huge week of games. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm casting both days. Be there or be square. We'll be back here, same time, same place, same rockin' content next week. See ya.